So when you say interest in addressable investment, what does that investment look like?
Yeah, I mean, the decoding addressable study goes into this, and I think it's important to take how the clients define addressable, because we need to fit into those boxes. And the way that clients define addressability is regardless of screen or delivery system, whether it's linear or digital. It's just whether you can address an audience at the household or device level with dynamic ad insertion. So we also define it that way. Now, in that study, well, holistically they define addressability holistically. Some of the challenges in the study is that there are companies out there that might have a product that is not addressable that they try to put into the addressable box, and so there is still some confusion. This is what we need to work on as a category around addressable linear, CTV addressable, and data-driven linear. Some are very close in their capabilities, and some aren't. And so we do have some work to do in terms of defining addressability as an industry.
JV, so as a network programmer, what does addressable media mean as opposed to your other hat of DirecTV? How does that look, and how's that developing, and what's the prospects for addressability around national linear?
Yeah, so the aperture of addressable has grown pretty significantly. It's grown within the 2-minute break, what they call the local break across the MVPDs, the cable and satellite operators. It's grown with the CTV players, and today that is what is kind of mature, that marketplace. Tomorrow we're excited about moving beyond the 2 minutes into the 14 minutes of national inventory per hour on the networks. I sit in a world where we have both distribution and the local break addressable inventory, and we are enabling the national break inventory. Demand for local break inventory is getting to a level of maturity. We need to go beyond the 2 minutes into the national breaks, and we're enabling that now. We're enabling it for WarnerMedia as a distributor and others. So it's not a product in market right now at scale, but next year it will be. We're doing a lot of testing right now. We're testing the pipes. We're moving from alpha to beta, and I believe by the end of next year that's when you're going to start seeing it in market.
So getting back to your study, what are some of the issues around barriers to investment in addressable from the buyer's perspective? I know you're in the marketplace, you've seen there's enthusiasm, but there's challenges both of perception, but also practical problems that I'm sure you're aware of. Where do we need to? Where are the pain points, and where do we need to move?
So, I talked a little bit about the definition of addressable. We need to clear that up. And it's dynamic ad insertion at the household or device level. But beyond that, I think there's still some perceptions around scale. Is it large enough, or are there enough endpoints? And if you read the study, the report that the Decoding Addressable report, they'll talk a little bit about the lack of scale in the marketplace. Now, I think that is perception versus reality. If you really break it down now, there is quite a bit of distribution. The aperture has grown, not only with the MVPDs. It's no longer just a 20-30 million household network of addressability. It goes to almost the full cable footprint. But in addition to that, you have a lot of CTV players that have similar capabilities. So you can get a pretty robust campaign across the current providers. In the future, it's going to get even larger as we enable national addressability in the national networks, cable and broadcast.
And what about the ROI versus cost? I mean, the price structure is different. What are the demands for performance metrics out of addressable? Where does that stand?
Yeah, so the way I would look at it is in two buckets. I've been in this business for 10 years, and the first kind of 7 or 8 has been largely focused on precision, using the product for precision. For the 30 to 35% of the brands out there that are trying to reach a smaller, more precise audience, right? And so for that bucket, they would compare the price of addressable versus their linear TV campaigns, the price of targeting and the ultimate result would dictate the price, because it's an outcome-based product, so you can literally track the lineage to sales or to website visitation or to whatever the KPI might be for that particular advertiser. So with the precision product, it is largely around, is it more effective than linear television? And you can do a net effective CPM analysis for that. We've done that for years. Then there's this growing second bucket, which is around reach extension, where the metric is cost per incremental reach. And to no fault of the linear television world, there's no way to really frequency cap. It's a technology issue. But with addressable and the technology of addressable, not only can you frequency cap, but you can see which households were underexposed or not exposed at all to the national linear TV campaigns, because they all run through our set-top boxes. So you're able to retarget underexposed or lightly exposed households to drive reach. And in that case, the metric for success or comparison on whether it's worth it or not is cost per incremental reach.
So how does addressable fit into Crossscreen campaigns? How are buyers investing Crossscreen and using addressable as part of it?
CTV and linear addressable in combination. That's how they're doing it. There's obviously been a lot of fragmentation. There's more and more viewership on apps. The good news is that when you look at again, back to the decoding addressable study, it talks about how buyers are investing in both. They need to invest in both. They're looking for unique reach against whatever segment, and it's worth it for them to invest in both, because both CTV and linear addressable have many of the same characteristics in terms of being able to target with relevancy, proving out ROI through attribution. There are some differences in measurement. There are maybe a few differences in transparency. Not every CTV impression is equal, but for the most part, the core capabilities are similar. And so they're investing in both. We're at DirecTV very lucky to have both a linear addressable product along with DirecTV Stream, our growing platform, our OTT platform. And so we're able to see the viewership patterns across both. We're able to apply segmentation from our clients addressably against both, and we're able to provide those insights back to our advertisers against both delivery systems.